Hello everyone, welcome to the sixth webinar of our webinar series about microseismic and geomechanics. So today's speaker is Devin Garrett. He is involved in developing the induced seismicity and microseismic tools here at IMaGE. So before joining IMaGE, Devin was a microseismic specialist for SLAMAGE and ESG solutions, focusing on both induced seismicity and downhole projects. So he has lots of experience from the field to share. In this webinar, he'll share with us with his experience in induced seismicity monitoring. So, Devin?
All right, thanks, Jinwei. As Jinwei mentioned, my name is Devin Garrett, and I'll be giving this webinar talk on induced seismicity monitoring. I believe it's the sixth part in this series that IMaGE is putting together, so here we go without further delay. I'll just go over a quick outline of this webinar here. We'll review the previous ones just in case anybody hasn't watched them. They can know what they can go back and watch. And then we'll talk about what is induced seismicity and why we're concerned with it. And from these concerns, some regulations have appeared in different areas, so I'll talk about some of them. And for these regulations, we'll talk about how it's monitored, what equipment we're using, and the processing methods that we're using here at IMaGE, and generally what people use to process it. And then we'll wrap it up with some examples and case studies. And that's it. So what is induced seismicity? So in the past several years, there have been lots of headlines in the news talking about induced seismicity and earthquakes generated from fracking or wastewater disposal wells throughout North America and the world. But these earthquakes and induced seismicity aren't just part of oil and gas industry. They're also associated with a lot of other industries, such as CO2 storage or dams, even geothermal applications, and mining all have induced seismicity associated with them. So it's been a hot topic in the news. You always see the buzzline induced seismicity. And what it's really referring to are seismic events that are a direct result of human activity. So this is just any earthquake or seismic event, doesn't matter the magnitude, that is caused from human activity, whether it's fracking or mining or the creation of a dam or anything. What it is not referring to are naturally occurring earthquakes that are typically located on tectonic boundaries. So just the human activity part. This is a map kind of showing where in the world it's happened, and as you can see, it's spread throughout the world pretty much. You know, there's a large concentration in North America where we get a lot of headlines from, but also in Europe there's a bunch, and Asia, and even down in South Africa. In this map, you can also see that they're colored by the different causes. So I'll talk mostly about oil and gas induced seismicity today, but the principles will apply to all these other causes as well. But typically, you know, oil and gas, we're seeing a lot of them in North America, especially in central United States, but they are also present in Europe and a couple in Asia. Whereas mining induced seismicity, we get a lot in Asia and South Africa, but there's still some in Europe and in the eastern United States, so worldwide. And even things like geothermal energy, we're getting a lot of those in Europe and even up in Iceland too. So the cause can be anything, and they can occur throughout the world. The circles here represent the magnitudes. So we're getting events from as low as magnitude 3 or lower, which are hard to be detected in some cases, but all the way up to magnitudes 4 and 5. So something that is, so events that are quite large and concerning to a lot of people. And it's really some of these larger magnitude events and the frequency of them that they are occurring at that's got a lot of people concerned. So as a result of this increased seismicity, there's been several government bodies that have put out some regulations. And again, I'm going to focus mostly on kind of oil and gas related ones, but there are definitely some associated with mining and geothermal and other industries as well.